And a little bitty number is the exponent. And Millie, you didn't hear this, but it's not hard, so where are you sitting? Okay, so just pay attention and you'll be fine, okay? So exponential form is going to be the 10 written with a tiny little number beside it, okay? And that exponent tells us how many times to multiply the 10 times itself, okay? And that's a little review. Did you put a box around exponential form? Go ahead. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our highlighter and our pencil to figure these out, okay? And the first one, I'm going to show you my little trick, and you can see if you think you understand what I'm doing, okay? So I'm on highlighter. Ooh, that's a pretty dark highlighter. Undo, undo, undo. Let's try a lighter one. Is that better? Okay. So what did I do with my highlighter? Highlighted each zero. How many marks did I make? 3. So it's 10 to the third power. Okay? Write that down. I'm going to go through these one at a time. I got to work on my highlighter though. Okay. So going down to B. Watch my trick. Well, that's too skinny. Let's try this. That's a little better, isn't it? So how many zeros did I highlight?
2.
So this is 10 to the second power. And you're going to say it like grades. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay? C. So I'm going to highlight. How many zeros did I highlight? 5. So it's 10 to the fifth power. Good job on that vocabulary. Okay? So D. Let's highlight again. 1, 2, 3. What do we got?
10 to the third power.
10 to the third power. Are you understanding that the zeros match the exponent?
Yes.
And this, what this really means, Millie, is 10 times 10 times 10. Okay? That's how many 10s I need to make 1,000, 3 of them. Okay? All right. Ooh, what's this big number?
1 million.
1 million. How many zeros are on a million?
6.
So 10 to the
6 power.
sixth power. Okay? Now you try the last one on your own. Count the zeros and write exponential form. Okay? Okay. So raise your hand if you want to answer this one. How about Mia?
10 to the fourth.
Okay, so look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh, I mean 5.
5. Yeah. Okay, so you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, we doing good? Let's go down to the next part. Now it gets a little tricky, but not too tricky for us because we have our blank page, we have our zero trick, and we also have our decimal trick, right?
Yeah.
So we can handle this. Now I'm looking at A through D right now. All eyes up here on the board for a minute, okay? A through D, I notice they each start with a whole number. So there's a chance I can use what trick? The zero trick, okay? So if I use the zero trick when I multiply, what do? Add zeros. If I use the zero trick when I divide, what do? Take off zeros. Am I going to be able to take off zeros here? Looks like I might be able to. So we'll get to those in a minute. So here's the hint. Are you ready? Okay. The 3 tells me how many zeros to add. Oh. So on this one, how many zeros will I add?
3.
3. And then put your comma in. Okay? All right. On B, How many zeros will I add?
4.
How do you know it's 4?
Because it's 4 by the 10.
The exponent is a 4. Yeah. And that means 10,000. You can look up here and find out that 10 to the 4th power, Millie and Caleb. 10 to the 4th power is 10,000. Okay? All right, this one. What do I do when I divide? Take off zeros. Okay? So how many do I take off? 2. Because what's my exponent? 2. That's okay. You might have to look at your paper. That's kind of blurry from way back there, I'm sure. Okay, this time how many zeros do I take off?
3.
You're kind of using your robot voices. Are you bored?
No.
Okay, good. All right, look at E through H. E through H, we're going to have to use a blank page. I hope I've got a blank page here somewhere. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, true. All right, so let me get back to where I was. So how do I know it's the decimal trick on these?
Because there's a decimal.
It's not a whole number, right? There's already a decimal in it. Look at G, though. G is a whole number,
So we're going to add, so we're either,
but if I divide, I have to cross off zeros. Can I cross off zeros? No. Okay, so on the blank page, this is 10 to the 3rd power. So, boys and girls, how many times do you think I'll move the decimal? 3 times. Okay? So, 6.072 on the blank page. And am I multiplying by 10 to the 3rd power? Yes? And this is right for multiply and left for divide. Okay? So, table 1. You know who you are?
Yeah.
Okay, which way will I move the decimal on this problem?
Right.
Right. How many?
3.
3. So 1, 2, 3. Make my new decimal. And this is on your blank page, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then my eraser isn't as good as yours. But I'm going to erase my old decimal and my tunnels. Millie, were you here when we talked about the tunnels? Okay. And what else do I need to erase?
All decimal.
The new decimal. Yeah. Because I don't need a decimal on the end of 6,000, do I?
All 0.
Got to get back to the right color. Got to find my spot. So, 6,072. 1, 2, 3. Place your comma. How you doing? Okay. The important thing is that you'll be able to do this by yourself at the end of class tomorrow when you do your exit. Okay? All right. So again, the decimal trick. This time it's 10 to the 4th power. Okay? So is it 60.72?
Yeah.
All right. 60.72, and it's 10 to the 4th power. So get your blank page ready to go. All right. How many, Sebastian, how many times will I move the decimal?
1 time to the right.
Is that 0 messing you up? Don't look at the 0, look at the exponent.
Yeah.
So how many
4
times?
times.
4 times. Okay, make sure you look at the exponent.
Yeah.
Got that? All right, watch me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place my new decimal. What do I need now?
A highlighter.
According to Max, I need a highlighter,
and
correct?
2 zeros.
And 2 zeros. So my answer is going to be 607,200.
So
Let me erase those.
600,000.
607,200. Okay, so let's write that on the paper. Oh, it's taken me a long time. So 607,200. 200. You guys remember how you can use that comma to help you say your numbers?
Yeah.
Okay? All right, the next one. The kids messed up on this. Okay? I had them do this one on their own because I wanted to see, hey, what are the mistakes I'm going to see? Guess what the mistake was?
What? Not adding the decimal.
The decimal got put in the wrong place. Okay? So let's take a look at it. Oops. Better get on eraser. So we're dividing on this one by what, boys and girls? 10 to the third power, okay? And I'm starting out with 948. Everybody write this on your blank page because I want to make sure we get it right.
I just did the exact same thing.
Okay. So this is where I saw the decimal most often, okay? They put it there to start with. And then,
No.
so what mistake did I just make? Carter?
The decimal has to go behind the number.
The decimal starts out behind the number every time. Every single time. We don't write 10 with a decimal, do we? No. But is this wrong? Is that still 10? Yeah, it's still 10. Okay? We just don't write the 0 and the decimal. So this decimal has to start at the end of the number. Okay? We got that? Okay, how many times will we move it?
3.
You try it yourself and then check it with mine. Caleb, are you writing this down? Okay. See if you did it right. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so erase. Are we good?
Yep.
All right. So,
948,000.
oh my goodness. 948 thousandths. Very good, very good. Okay, this last one. Divided by 10 to the second. So if I've got, is it 9.4?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I have to change. My exponent is now a 2, and I'm going to divide 9.4 by 10 to the second power. So how many times will I move the decimal?
2.
2 times. The exponent tells me how many times. We ready?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Use a highlighter.
as Max would say.
And 2.
Right. Now, erase my old decimal and my tunnels. Okay. Wow, that's a good job saying the number. 94 thousandths. Okay, how are we doing?
Good.
This next part's really fun. It's those number patterns that we worked on a little bit yesterday. So do you remember that the first decision we have to make is, are the numbers getting larger or are the numbers getting smaller? Well, we've got to make that decision, okay? Do you remember those 5th grade vocabulary words we used for this? No, good try. For getting larger and getting smaller.
Increasing and decreasing.
Increasing and decreasing. So increasing meant what?
Getting bigger.
Right? And what do?
We
Multiply or add, but we're going to multiply, right?
Yep.
Decreasing meant
Division
and getting smaller. Okay, so am I increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Write the multiplication sign right there. Now I'm going to look at the first 2 numbers to decide. How much am I increasing by? This is all I have to do. Figure out how many times they moved the decimal. 1. So what number is that when we only move once? 10. Okay, it's just a 10. So now on my blank page, And I'm going to use over here for my blank page so that I don't have to keep going back and forth. You keep using your blank page, okay? All right, so on my blank page, I've got to multiply by 10, okay? So, 0.2 times 10. Get that on your blank page, please. Okay, how many times do I move it for 10?
1.
Okay, so I'm going to move it 1. Then what do I need to erase? The tunnel The zero, and the new decimal. So the old decimal, the tunnel, the 0, and the new decimal. What's my answer? 2. Oops, writing with blue. That's okay, isn't it? All right, so now that I've got that done, all right, what trick can I use for the next 2 blanks? Don't say it, just think it. I'm going to call on someone. Is it the decimal trick or the 0 trick? Melina. Very good. So if I multiply by 10, what do I do? Add a 0 to the end. So I add a 0 to the end of 20. What do I get?
200.
Good. And if I add a 0 to the end of 200, what do I get? 2,000. Okay? This is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, let's see what we're doing on the next one. Okay? Look at it carefully. Table 3. Are we increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. So that means I divide. Now, I'm going to look at the first 2 numbers again. Right? Okay? How much am I dividing by? Well, I just have to figure out how many zeros they took off.
2.
2. They took off 2 zeros. So what number has 2 zeros?
200.
100. Yeah, you were adding them. Okay? So 100. So can I use a 0 trick on 34,000? Yeah. Because how many am I taking off?
2.
2. Okay? So they did the next one for us. Probably if we would have hopped the decimal or moved the decimal twice, we'd get 3.4. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay? So the next one, 3.4, which way am I going for divide?
Left.
To the left. How many for 100?
2.
1, 2. Get your highlighter.
And add 2 zeros.
Fill in with your zeros.
34.
Change your, get rid of your old decimal, right?
Yep.
Whoops. And what's my answer?
34,000.
34 thousandths. Very good. Okay, but are you putting it on your blank page, Caleb? Because that's what I want you to practice doing. You're not going to be able to do everything in your head all the time, okay? All right, so look at C. Table 4. Am I increasing or decreasing here? On C, what am I doing? Decreasing. So that's divided by. Now I have to look at these 2 numbers to figure it out. How far did they move the decimal? Caleb, how far did they move the decimal?
They moved the decimal to...
How many times did the meerkat pop his head up to get it over there?
2.
No? Look at mine.
3.
How many times did the decimal move?
1.
1. Okay, so what number stands for 1 place value? Good. Is that what you were going to say, Elisha?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this one's kind of tricky. Because I know I can just divide by 10 here and divide by 10 here. But on this one, I can't divide by 10. Because this number has to be larger since they're all getting smaller. So instead of divide by 10, what am I going to do here? What's the opposite of divide?
Multiply.
Okay, so which trick will I use here if I'm going to multiply by 10? Can I add a 0 to the end?
Yes.
Yes, so let's use that trick.
That's what I did.
That's what you did?
85,700.
Okay. All right, so now we've got to figure out what the next one is divided by 10. Table, how about you, Micah? What trick do you think I'm going to use for divided by 10 here on 8,570?
0.
I agree. How many zeros will I cross off?
1.
1. So this is 857. Okay? You with me?
Yes.
Okay, now I've got, they did 2 for us.
Yeah.
So now we've got to divide 8.57 by 10. Okay?
Yeah.
So when I divide, which way do I move the decimal? To the left. How many times for 10? Once. Erase my old decimal. 0.857. 857 thousandths. Very good. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. Table 5. Am I increasing or decreasing here?
Increasing.
Okay? So that's multiply, right?
Yeah.
Okay? How much am I increasing by?
10.
10? How do you know it's 10?
Because 444 times 10 is 4,440.
Good. So I can do what trick here? Someone besides Quentin. Carter, what do you think? If I'm going to multiply all of these by 10, what trick am I going to use? The 0 trick. So I'm going to add 1 0 to the end of every number. Okay? Mia, could you please get the door for me? Thank you. So I'm going to put 44,400 on there, but I'm going to do it without any commas, and I'm going to add 1 0. Then 1, 2, 3, place my comma. Okay? How do you say that number? Raise your hand if you want to help me. Finn.
444,000.
Very good. Remember that trick when you get to the comma, say the word thousand?
No.
Okay, so now we're going to do 444,000 times 10. So I'm going to write it and then place my decimal. And I'm going to be writing too big. So add another 0. 1, 2, 3, place my comma. 1, 2, 3, place my comma. Okay? Who wants to try and say this one? Jocelyn. 440,000. Good. So you only have to say this 3-digit number here, 440 and then 1,000. So in order to do numbers, you only have to understand how to say 3-digit numbers. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now 4,440,000 times 10. So I'm going to write that number and add another 0.
Too much zeros to me.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, who has not answered and wants to? Melina, go ahead. How do I say this number?
44,400,000.
Very good. Very good. Okay, one more. So let's take a look at this one. Table 1, am I increasing or decreasing? Increasing. So I'm going to multiply. I bet it's not times 10 again. What do you think? Probably not. So times.
100.
How do you know?
Because
They added 2 zeros. Very good. So times 100. Okay? So these two at the end, we're going to use what trick? Zero trick. We're going to put zeros on the end, okay? The one in the front, what trick? Decimal trick. Am I dividing for this one or multiplying? So I have to do 9.5. Write that on your blank page. And you're going to multiply times 100. So put it on your blank page. Okay? And how many times will I move it for 100?
2.
Which way?
Right. 0. Well, because your highlighter is not the
Right. And then I'm going to get rid of my tunnels. What else do I get rid of?
same. No decimal.
The new decimal also, right? Do I need a decimal on the number 950?
No.
No.
It should be.
Okay. So now can you do the zero trick and add 2 zeros to these two?
Yep.
All right. And then we'll talk about how to say them. Okay, give the kids a couple minutes to write it, and then I'll call on somebody, okay? Who has not got a chance to say a number yet? Okay, do you want to try? Serenity? Okay, so remember, with the first comma, you say million. With the second comma, you say thousand. Okay, so give this a try. Serenity. 9,000,000.
500.
What do you say on this one? Thousand. Good. So 9,500,000. Okay? Somebody else who hasn't said a number. Micah, you haven't said a number? Okay. Try this one.
95 million. No.
Look at that again. It's got a 9, a 5, and a 0.
Oh. 950 million.
Good. And do I need to say 0 thousands? No. Okay. So what do you think about number patterns? Pretty fun?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead. Good job today. First one. Okay, what did I accidentally do wrong here? I accidentally multiplied. But I think we talked about the fact that we need to divide, right? Because I'm going backwards when I go this way, so the number has to get smaller. So which way do I go when I divide?
Right. Left.
To the left. How many times for 100?
2.
Whoops. Highlight. So I should have written
0 or 95. 100.
95,000. Okay, now we're good to go. Right? Thank you for that, Mia.